Real Madrid's first major move. Amorim targets a PSG star. Guardiola lines up Haaland's successor. Vinícius issues an ultimatum to Real Madrid's board. All this and more coming your way. Smash that thumbs up if you want more videos. 500 likes will keep us going. Enjoy the show and let's dive in. Would you ever turn down €1 billion? That's the jaw-dropping offer Vinícius Jr. has on the table right now from Saudi Arabia. Let that sink in. €1 billion over 5 years. So here's the real question. How long can Real Madrid keep playing tug-of-war with their Brazilian star before the rope snaps? This story has it all. Money, loyalty, ambition, and a club that's built its identity on being bigger than any player. But is Vinícius worth rewriting the rules for? Let's rewind for a second. Vinícius isn't just any player. He's become the face of Real Madrid's present and future. The guy's already gotten a few salary bumps, but now he's reportedly asking for Mbappé-level wages. And we're not talking small change here. This is the kind of paycheck that makes CEOs jealous, around €70 million a year before taxes. Now, some might call this classic negotiation tactics. Push for the max, it's just business, right? Sure, but here's the kicker. Real Madrid doesn't exactly roll over in negotiations either. This is the same club that has a whole ethos built on loyalty and tradition, the Madridismo spirit. But even the strongest traditions can wobble when €1 billion come knocking. The club seems to believe Vinícius is worth it. He's electrifying, decisive, and let's face it, without him, Madrid's left flank would feel like a pizza without the toppings. But here's the rub. Keeping two players on €70 million each, let's not forget Mbappé rumors are always lurking, isn't just a challenge. It's like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube while blindfolded. Remember, this isn't the Galacticos era anymore. Back then, Madrid could spend freely. But now, they've got La Liga's financial watchdog breathing down their neck and a shiny, renovated Santiago Bernabeu to pay off. Adding another monster salary could push their budget into dangerous territory. So, what's the move? Do they break the bank and keep their rising star, or cash out and reinvest? Let's be real. Selling Vinícius would be a financial lifeline, especially with that kind of Saudi money. But imagine the backlash. The fans adore him. He's a symbol of Madrid's recent successes, and without him, the attack could lose its sparkle. If Madrid lets him go, they risk losing more than just a player. They lose part of their identity. But if they keep him, well, let's just say it's a gamble. One that could either keep them on top or send them scrambling under a pile of debt. So, here's where we stand. Is Real Madrid already cooking up a deal to keep Vinícius happy? Will they offer him something no one can refuse? Or is it time to bid farewell and rebuild? What would you do if you were sitting in Florentino Perez's chair? Fight for Vinícius or let him take his talent and that insane paycheck to Saudi Arabia? Let us know in the comments. Frenkie de Jong's story at Barcelona is starting to feel more like a soap opera than a football career. Once hailed as the second coming of Iniesta, the Dutchman now finds himself at a crossroads with 3 brutal choices. Take a pay cut, find a new club, or rot on the bench until his contract runs out. Not exactly the dream scenario for a €30 million a year player, right? But let's rewind a bit. De Jong arrived at Barca as one of Europe's hottest prospects, the kind of player who could define a generation. Fast forward to today, though, and the Blaugrana management doesn't see him as their midfield savior. Instead, they see him as a €30 million problem. And honestly, you can't really blame them. The club's financial mess is no secret. They're desperate to cut costs, and Frenkie's hefty salary sticks out like a sore thumb. Add to that the fact that he hasn't exactly lived up to the Iniesta comparisons, and well, you start to see why patience is running thin. Here's the thing. Frenkie isn't a bad player, not by any stretch, but he's also not the kind of player who can single-handedly carry a team. Sure, there's interest from heavyweights like Manchester United, Chelsea, and even Bayern, but Frenkie, he seems pretty comfy in Barcelona. Sunshine, beaches, and €30 million a year. Who wouldn't be? But here's where the plot thickens. Saudi Arabia has entered the picture. The oil-rich league is snapping up big names left and right, and Frenkie could be next. They're reportedly offering him a deal worth €15 million post-tax. Not bad, right? Except there's a catch. He'd be trading Champions League nights for casual kickabouts in a league far from Europe's elite. So, what's Frenkie's dream? To stay at Barca, keep earning big, and risk becoming a bench warmer? Or pack his bags for Saudi Arabia, take the money, and watch his competitive career fade into the sands of the Middle East? For Barca, the answer is obvious. Offloading his massive salary is a no-brainer for them. It's all part of their desperate attempt to balance the books and avoid awkward situations like the Dani Alves registration fiasco. And what about Frenkie himself? Injuries, like that nagging ankle issue, have played a huge role in his struggles. But let's be real. Barca's rising stars like Gavi and Casado have completely overshadowed him. His chances of reclaiming a starting spot slim to none. So here here we are. Frenkie de Jong stands at a fork in the road. Does he chase ambition, rebuild his career, and prove the doubters wrong? Or does he take the easy route, follow the money, and fade away as just another overhyped player? The decision isn't just about football, it's about legacy. Will Frenkie go down as a player who made a mark in football history? Or will he be remembered as one more name lost in the flood of petrodollars? Let us know what you think in the comments, because this story is far from over. What if I told you that the heart and soul of Manchester City's golden era might be playing his final season in Europe? Kevin De Bruyne, City's legend, is eyeing a move that could change everything. But is it really the right time to say goodbye? Kevin De Bruyne and Manchester City, a partnership that defined an era. For years, he's been the midfield maestro, the engine behind their dominance. But now, as his contract inches toward its expiration, the unthinkable is happening. Kevin is seriously considering a move to Major League Soccer. Yeah, you heard that right. The Belgian playmaker, the symbol of City's rise to power, could be headed stateside. The frontrunner, San Diego FC, a brand new MLS franchise looking to make a splash before they've even kicked a ball. Their first match is scheduled for February 2025, but they're already swinging for the fences by targeting De Bruyne as their marquee signing. So why America? For Kevin, it boils down to two things: money and family. He's talked openly about how much he admires the US lifestyle, especially as a place to settle down after the relentless grind of European football. Add in the fact that he's a family man, and the move starts to make sense. But here's the twist. What's going on with Manchester City? Why aren't they bending over backward to keep their legend? De Bruyne's current contract earns him £400,000 a week. But word is, City isn't too keen on extending it under the same terms. At 33, with injuries starting to creep in, Kevin's importance on the pitch has started to wane. Only 7 starts this season. Maybe Pep Guardiola is already preparing for life without him. And then there's Saudi Arabia. You'd think the oil-rich clubs of Al Ittihad or Al Nasser would be all over a player of Kevin's caliber. And they are. But surprisingly, their offers haven't been enough to lure him away from his American dream. Now picture this: MLS with De Bruyne joining the likes of Messi, Busquets, and Suarez. The league is turning into a star-studded football carnival, and Kevin's addition could make it even bigger. But San Diego FC isn't the only MLS club interested. Inter Miami, Beckham's ambitious project, might have something to say about this transfer. So here's the million-dollar question. Is it really time for Kevin De Bruyne to leave Manchester City? Sure, he's 33, and injuries have taken their toll. But has he still got enough in the tank to fight for another chapter at the top level? Or is this the perfect time to bow out and embrace a new challenge? For City fans, it's a tough pill to swallow. De Bruyne isn't just any player. He's a legend, the heartbeat of the team. But maybe, just maybe, this is the right move for both sides. Kevin gets to write his final chapter on his own terms, and City gets to plan for the future. So, what's your take? Should City do everything to keep their icon, or is it time for Kevin to move on? Let us know in the comments. One thing's for sure, this is a story no football fan wants to miss. Manchester City, just 1 win in 13 matches. What's going on? Pep Guardiola seems to think he's found the answer, and it's Jonathan David. But can the Canadian sensation really turn things around for the citizens? The January transfer window is almost here, and Guardiola isn't wasting any time. After watching his team struggle like never before, Pep has his sights set on Lille's Jonathan David, a player who's been lighting up League One with an insane record: 101 goals in 209 matches. Oh, and let's not forget a league title and a French Super Cup in his trophy cabinet. This season, David's on fire. With 17 goals in 26 games, he's been Lille's main man. But here's the kicker. His contract is running down and the writing's on the wall. Whether it's this January or summer 2025, the Canadian striker is moving on. City initially thought about waiting until the summer to make their move, but let's be real. How many more matches can they afford to drop before things get out of hand? 1 win in 13? That's not the kind of stat you expect from Pep's team. Haaland's doing everything he can, but even he can't carry the entire team on his back. That's where Jonathan David comes in. David's style screams Guardiola's system: fast, clinical, and relentless. He's not just a scorer. He's a team player who knows how to make things happen. And the price? Lille initially wanted 60 million euros, but with his contract winding down, City might snag him for closer to 40 million euros. Sounds like a bargain, right? City scouts have been doing their homework. Personal viewings, in-depth analysis. These guys aren't messing around. When City targets a striker, you know it's serious. And it's not just City sniffing around. Barcelona's also entered the chat. The Catalans have been impressed with David's Champions League performances and his consistency for Canada. 31 goals in 59 games. Not bad for a 23-year-old, but let's face it, City can't afford to miss out on this one. Guardiola needs reinforcements now, not in 6 months, and Jonathan David could be the perfect partner or backup for Haaland. The combination of their attacking firepower? Scary. Lilo, of course, will hate to lose their star, but that's football. Nothing lasts forever, and when a giant like City comes knocking, you answer the door. So, what do you think? Is Jonathan David the missing piece for Manchester City? Or is this move too much too soon? Can Pep pull off this transfer and get his team back on track? Let us know in the comments. Because when the January window opens, the drama will only heat up. Stay tuned, because this one could change everything. Everton fans, brace yourselves, because this could be the biggest mistake the club's made in years. Jared Branthwaite, the young defensive prodigy, might just slip through their fingers. How did it come to this? Let's talk about Jared Branthwaite. At just 21, this kid has Premier League giants Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City, all lining up to sign him. His value? A cool £75 million, and that's on the low end. Yet somehow, Everton's treating him like he's just another squad player. Can you believe he's one of the lowest paid players in the team? Here's the kicker. Branthwaite actually wants to stay at Goodison Park. He's settled, he's comfortable, and he's been a rock at the back for Everton this season. But how do you compete when Manchester United comes knocking with an offer of £160,000 a week? That's more than some of Everton's top earners are making. Now, let's be fair. Everton's strict wage structure isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's helped keep the club afloat financially. But when you've got a generational talent like Branthwaite, shouldn't you make an exception? Or are the Toffees once again shooting themselves in the foot like we've seen them do so many times before? The timing couldn't be worse either. Everton's got new owners, the Friedkin Group, and fans were hoping they'd bring a breath of fresh air. Yet here we are, with Branthwaite's future hanging in the balance and the January transfer window just around the corner. It's almost like Everton's management is asleep at the wheel, but maybe there's some grand plan we're not seeing. Maybe Everton's dragging this out to drive up Branthwaite's price, hoping for a bidding war. If that's the case, it's a dangerous game, because losing Branthwaite wouldn't just hurt the defense. It'd send a message to the fans in the league that Everton can't keep hold of their brightest stars. Let's not forget, Branthwaite isn't just another player. He's been the backbone of their defense, a beacon of hope for a club that's desperately trying to claw its way back to relevance. Losing him to a rival, whether it's Liverpool, United, or City, would be a gut punch to the fans and the team's future. And don't tell me Everton can't afford to pay him. With new ownership and supposedly more financial flexibility, now's the time to show ambition. This isn't just about keeping Branthwaite. It's about sending a message that Everton is ready to compete again. But will they step up, or will we watch another talented player walk out the door, leaving the club wondering what could have been? What do you think? Should Everton break the bank to keep Branthwaite, or is this just another chapter in the club's history of mismanagement? Let me know in the comments, and stay tuned. This saga is far from over. Manchester United fans, what if I told you your left flank nightmare might finally be over? Yep, the Red Devils are reportedly chasing Nuno Mendes from PSG, and this could be the move that changes it all. Let's dive in. Nuno Mendes, PSG's 22-year-old rising star, is making headlines, and not just because of his ridiculous talent. With only a year and a half left on his contract and talks with PSG hitting a wall, Manchester United has reportedly swooped in with an official bid. Coincidence? Definitely not. Why is United so desperate? The answer's written all over their injury list. Luke Shaw and Tyrell Malacia can't seem to stay fit at the same time. And poor Diogo Dalot has been pulling double duty, trying to patch up the left side while covering his usual right-back role. It's a mess, and United knows it. Enter Nuno Mendes. This guy isn't just a defender, he's a game changer. His stats are insane. 90% passing accuracy, nearly 6 duels won per game, 5 tackles a match, and that's in League One, where the competition is no joke. Mendes has the perfect mix of defensive grit and attacking flair. He's not afraid to make those daring runs down the flank and turn defense into offense in a heartbeat. And get this, his price tag? Around £46 million. For a proven player who's already performing under pressure at one of Europe's biggest clubs, that's a steal. But there's a catch. Paris Saint-Germain isn't exactly thrilled about letting him go. They're hoping to lock him into a new deal, but Mendes reportedly isn't buying what they're selling. Here's where it gets interesting. If Mendes decides he's had enough, things could get messy. Players don't stay quiet when they feel undervalued, and you know how these things go. Agents stirring the pot, media rumors flying, and suddenly, the pressure's on PSG. But let's be real, even if United pulls off this signing, there's still a risk. Injuries, tactical chaos, and that infamous Old Trafford spotlight have crushed more than a few big names over the years. Can Mendes rise above the madness, Or will he struggle like so many others? And don't forget, PSG isn't exactly known for playing nice when it comes to transfers. They've held on to stars before, and they won't let Mendes go without a fight. But with United's desperate need for stability on the left flank, you have to wonder, can they outmaneuver PSG and seal the deal? So, what's the verdict? Is Mendes the answer to United's problems? Or is this another transfer saga destined to fizzle out? Let me know what you think in the comments. This story's just heating up, and trust me, you'll want to stay tuned. Trent Alexander-Arnold to Real Madrid. What? The backbone of Liverpool's defense, the symbol of their rise, is packing his bags for Spain. How did we even get here? Let's unpack this. After years of speculation, it's official. Trent Alexander-Arnold has decided he's heading to Real Madrid next summer. This isn't just another transfer rumor. This is the end of an era at Liverpool. Real Madrid, the masters of the free transfer game, have been eyeing Trent for what feels like forever. Now with his contract running down, they're finally making their move. And Trent? He's done with the endless will he or won't he drama. He's ready to walk away. Not in January for a quick payday, but on his own terms. As a Liverpool legend leaving to applause, not anger. Think about it. This is classic Real Madrid. Remember how they snapped up Alaba and Rudiger for free? It's like their secret weapon. Wait for the right moment and swoop in. Carlo Ancelotti reportedly sees Trent as the perfect heir to Dani Carvajal, a player who can dominate the right flank for years. And for Trent, Real Madrid isn't just a club, it's a calling. Imagine joining his buddy Jude Bellingham under the lights of the Santiago Bernabeu, with thousands screaming, Hala Madrid. It's not just about football, it's a whole new challenge, a fresh chapter in his career. But what about Liverpool? Losing Trent isn't just losing a world-class right-back, it's losing a piece of their soul. For years, he's been the embodiment of Klopp's attacking philosophy, turning defense into offense with his pinpoint passes and insane vision. So, what's next for the Reds? Does Klopp already have a replacement in mind? Or are we about to see a frantic scramble in the transfer market? This isn't just a player leaving, it's a seismic shift for Liverpool. And the fans? They're torn. Some are wishing Trent well, recognizing his desire to test himself in a new environment. Others see it as betrayal, wondering how their star could abandon ship when the team is rebuilding. What's your take? Is this the right move for Trent? Or will he struggle to adapt to the slower pace and higher expectations of La Liga? And for Liverpool, is this a catastrophe or a chance to evolve? One thing's for sure, this story is just beginning. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned for the next chapter in this dramatic saga. Because if there's one thing we know about football, it's that the drama never stops.